This woman lived a life of ups and downs. Her name was Rose Ellen Gage, and she was born in 1884 in Kings Lynn, Norfolk, to Henry Gage and Mary Ann Kenny. Her father was a bootmaker, and the family lived in Queen Street. Sadly, her mother passed away in 1902, aged just 43. By this time, Rose was 18 and working as a housekeeper. In 1915, she married Henry Benefer, who was from the local fishing community. They had a son Henry in 1916. This was during World War I, where Henry was serving in the Navy. Luckily, he survived the war. But just after the end of the war, in 1918, she lost her father. And in 1920, they had a son John. But all was not well in the marriage, as in 1921, she applied for a separation order. This was played out in public, as it appeared in the local newspapers. The headline said, "An Englishman's home, not his castle." Rose said they married on the 2nd of August 1915 at the Catholic Church, and there were 2 children, aged 4.5 and 5 months. Her husband served in the Navy, and during that time, she got regular money. Since he had been out of service, however, he had kept her short of money. She had asked him on several occasions to give her more money, and his reply was that she better do what many women had to do, on the streets. On Thursday, the 24th of March, her husband left her. The rent was then due, and although he had promised to pay it, he had not given her the money. Representing the husband was Mr. Page, and he said about 5 years ago her sister, Mrs. Marshall, and her husband, who was in the army, came to stay with her, and she has remained there ever since. Rose said she would never live with her husband again. Her sister, Mrs. Marshall, described Mr. Benefer's language as something terrible, and that she had never known such a dirty man. Mr. Page asked, "Why do you live there?" Mrs. Marshall said, "Because I cannot get a house." Mr. Page submitted that there could be no suggestion of desertion in this case. The cause of the whole trouble was obvious. Mrs. Marshall, with her husband and child, had planted themselves in the house, and they had remained there for 5 years. Mrs. Marshall had done her best to set her sister against her husband, and to a certain extent she had succeeded. He said Mr. Benefer was fond of his wife, and he desired to live with her, but the presence of these other people prevented him. The court decided there was no actual desertion, and therefore they were unable to make any order. 2 years later, they had a son Edwin, who sadly died an infant. By 1939, they were living at 16 Garden Row in Kings Lynn. Despite their difficulties, the couple stayed together. Rose passed away in 1944, aged 60, and Henry in 1965, aged 74. So rest in peace, you will be remembered.